15 for my bros, yeah. 15 with my bros, yeah. Lagos, I wanna come home. Lagos, I wanna come home.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a very detailed way on how to make your frontal wigs. Now first, you're going to need your hair, of course. You're going to need a wig cap, and you're going to need your wig head. Now today's hair is proudly sponsored by Nadula Virgin Hair Company. They have their own website, and this is their Brazilian straight hair in bundles 20, 22 and 18 inches, and a frontal in 20 inches. This is the way I make sure that my frontal stays like taut on my head. You're going to measure from ear to ear, and you're going to use like a white eyeliner or anything like that to mark your wig cap where you want your frontal to rest. Now after you're done marking your frontal, then you're going to go ahead and start sewing your frontal down. So to help the process, you're going to use T-pins. This is very important when you make a wig. T-pins seriously can save a life. You're going to use T-pins to tack it down to the areas that you marked, and you want to make sure you have that space. That ensures that it's going to sit really taut on your head. You also want to make sure that the back of the frontal aligns with the cap. Make sure that part is really straight. It doesn't have any weird spaces in between. Now when I'm sewing, I always reinforce my thread with 4 thread. So instead of just 2 strands of thread, I have 4 thread. This enables me to do simple stitches like this without having to do a loop method or any like intricate stitch, without fear of my stitches unraveling as time goes on. So that is how I make sure that my stitches stay strong and that the weft stays in place on the wig for a long time. So I do highly recommend reinforcing your stitches by using 4 lines of thread as opposed to 2 lines of thread. Now it's time to start sewing our wefts from the back. Now an easy way to make sure you do this correctly is by tacking down the wefts using any type of pins. I use normal pins, those ones that have the colored head, so that I can easily find them on the wefts, and I just use that to kind of form a straight line before I start sewing. This makes it so much easier, especially if you're not used to sewing or you're not like an expert or anything like that. It helps you to sew in a straight line. So I highly recommend you do this step before you start sewing your wefts. While sewing the back bundles, you want to make sure you're sewing it in a smile line shape. You're not sewing it straight, you're not sewing it in the shape of the frontal. Start with a smile line. So what happens is once you get to the middle of the wig, you're going to start straightening your lines. You're going to start straightening your stitches. So by the time you get to the top of the wig, it resembles the frontal shape, which is a frown line. So it starts to resemble a frown line the closer you get to the top of the wig. Now when I start sewing my wig, just because it is the end part of the wig, you also want to make sure that you're tacking it down really well. You're going to knot it up to 3 times to make sure that it doesn't move. So I use a very strong knot, up to 3 knots on the beginning part of my wefts every single time I change my thread. Now once you get to the top part, you're only going to use single wefts. Now I only ended up using 2 bundles and 1 line from the 3rd bundle. So you only want to use single wefts, and I also use the fold over method, the roll over method at the end of all my stitches. I don't cut my wefts. I just don't like cutting my wefts. So if you like to cut your wefts, that's great. I just don't. So yeah, except at the top, of course. So this is the only part where I cut my wefts. So you're also going to do the same thing. You're going to pin down the wefts. At this point in time, I try to join my stitch of the wefts to the frontal, so there's no space in between and it looks seamless. Now once you're done making your wig, you want to cut off the excess lace as well as the excess wig cap. You can choose to leave either 1 or 2 centimeters of lace to like enable you customize your baby hairs and do all that kind of stuff, or you can cut it exactly to your hairline. It really depends on what you fancy. Personally, I leave about 1 inch of lace just to give me some leeway while I'm customizing my unit. I also bleach my knots as well as tint my lace to make it match my exact skin tone. If you guys want to see how I did that, let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, so that is my easy wig tutorial. I later on dyed the hair this burgundy red. I didn't use any bleach. The video for that will be linked in the description box below. And yeah guys, this is how I slay my wigs. This is how I do it. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!